Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Mr. Vice President is here. The national anthem, please. You may be seated, please. Your Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I most heartily, on behalf of the Foundation for Ibadan Television Anniversary Celebration, FITAC, welcome you to this public presentation of Heritage of Excellence, a book of reminiscences of broadcast professionals who passed through WNTV. It also incorporates a presentation of awards to some deserving recipients. This particular ceremony is the first of the two-in-one grand finale program of events scheduled for today, marking the Diamond Jubilee Anniversary celebration of the foremost television in Africa. The second leg is a gala slated for this evening at this same venue. I am Segun Aderiye. Once again, welcome to this show. A round of applause for everybody. My first assignment is to introduce to you the people on the high table. I have the singular honor and privilege to, introduce now? We all know him. The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is also an ordained minister of the Gospel of Jesus Christ, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, SAN GCON. Welcome, sir. Very much welcome. I also wish to introduce to you, to those of you who don't already know, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State is ably representing Mr. Governor himself, Engineer Seyi Makinde. The Deputy Governor is His Excellency Engineer Rauf Adiremi Olaniyan, FNSE. He's a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You're welcome, sir. May I also let you know that the Federal Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, is unavoidably absent, but is ably represented here this morning, by the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed. You're welcome, sir. And then, of course, the chief host for this program, the chairman of the Foundation for Ibadan Television Anniversary Celebration, FETAC, Ambassador, let me put His Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farobi. Congratulations. Next is Reverend Mrs. Tola Oyediro. Reverend Mrs. Tola Oyediro is the very first daughter of Chief Awolowo, the man we are honoring today. You're welcome. I also have the singular honor and privilege to introduce to us another first daughter, this one of Chief Titi Sholaru. Chief Titi Sholaru was the very first chairman of the board of the WNTV. Here is Mrs. Bisi Shofunde. Welcome. God bless you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on Mr. Ayo Fashoro, one of the pillars of this foundation, to give his welcome address. Mr. Fashoro, please.
Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, Engineer Seyi Makinde, Governor of our Oyo State, ably represented by his deputy, His Excellency, the Governor of Osun State, ably represented by his Secretary to the Government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, the family of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the family of Chief Anthony Enahoro, the family of Chief Titi Sholaru, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, represented by the Director General of Nigeria Television Authority, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed alumni. I have the great honor to welcome us to this morning's event. Today is the culmination of a 30-day affair to mark the 60th anniversary of the founding of Africa's first television station. It is a thing of joy to see that the visionaries whose vision gave birth to this station 60 years ago have not started neither the station nor the industry that they founded. We are grateful that the Vice President, in spite of numerous and heavy duties of state, particularly at the time that Mr. President is out of the country, has found the time to be with us today. Mr. Vice President, you are welcome. We thank you for this honor. We love you. We support you. We are behind you. The families of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, of Chief Anthony Enahoro, and of Chief Titi Sholaro. We thank you that you have given us such wonderful men who have made our region and our country very, very proud. And we also thank you that you are present with us today to mark the 60th anniversary of the wonders that they did exactly 16 years ago today. You are welcome. The Minister of Information and Culture, thank you for being here. Thank you for your support since we started all of this. We welcome you. We hope that we can continue to rely on your support. To my fellow alumni, this is your day. Welcome to history. A particular alumnus whom I cannot fail to point out is here. She was there 60 years ago today, and she's still here. Mama and everybody with us. We would have loved to welcome many like her. When we started this program, we identified 4 of them still alive. But like they say, that man proposes and God does what he does best. One of them is no longer with us. That being Otumba Kunle Olasope, who is being buried this weekend. To him and to many like him who passed through WNTV and are no longer with us, we assure them that the banner is being carried on by people who are no less worthy of the challenge of the legacy that they left. This morning, we shall launch a book by presentation. That book tells us all. It is a chronicle of individuals who over the 60 years have gone through that building, that premises, built for £250,000 in 3 months. And whose legacy of excellence has been passed down over the years. Individuals have told their own stories. They are part of the big story. Their narratives are contained in that book. We shall also use this day to honor those who have brought us this far. The visionaries that we mentioned, Papa Awolowo, Chief Enahoro, and Chief Titi Sholaro, they will be honored. We shall honor the 3 surviving pioneers that we know. The 3 persons who are still living, who were there on the staff on October 31, 1959. They being Mama Anika Agbade Williams, Oba Olufalomo, and Prince Tunji Jide Akindele. Because of age, it is not possible for them to be here. Mama is here because she lives in Ibadan, for which we are grateful to God. After that, we shall honor those who have made distinguished contributions as alumni of the place. Ladies and gentlemen, Mine is just to welcome you, and I hope that you will join us in laying the foundation for better things for broadcasting in Nigeria and Africa. I know that my chairman, Ambassador Yemi Farounbi, is going to say more on that. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Fasharo. Mr. Vice President, sir, the next item should be the opening remarks by His Excellency Ambassador Yemi Farounbi. But before we go to that, please allow me, sir, to quickly adjust something. I failed to mention the third leg of the tripod that brought television to being in Nigeria. I'm really very sorry for that. The very surviving son, the only surviving son of Chief Inahoro is here with us. Chief Eugene Inahoro. I'm sorry I missed it out there. Thank you very much. You're most welcome. Thank you. So next, may I respectfully call our chairman, FITAC, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farounbi, for his address. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the Cerebral Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I should just stand on the existing protocol. But I'd like to mention that the DG of NTA, who is representing the Honorable Minister, is also here in his own personal recognition. I have a very short speech, Your Excellencies, that I've called Time for Nigerians to Put on Running Shoes. Television is 60 years old in Africa, and it is a matter of pride that television started in Nigeria, here in Ibadan. It is indeed a matter of pride that when many European countries had not dreamt of television, Nigeria had television. This is therefore a celebration of a Nigeria that blazed the trail for other African countries to follow. A Nigeria that was the giant star in Africa's firmament. Opening the television service on 31st October 1959, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the great visionary, said, and I quote, "The regional government is convinced that television can play a major role in increasing the pace and standard of education. Television will serve as a teacher and entertainer and a stimulus to us all to transform Nigeria into a modern, prosperous nation," unquote. The dream of the visionary, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, was the creation of a modern, prosperous Nigeria. It was not a dream for Ibadan alone, nor was it a dream for Western region alone. It was a dream for the entire country of Nigeria. And this is why this foundation, ably supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, has made this a celebration of a national monument. Indeed, the celebration of what a great country has done in times past. Permit me to recall the words of that great poet and writer, T.S. Eliot. Eliot wrote, "Time present and time past, above perhaps present in time future, and the time future contained in the time past." Great achievements of the past should provide us a leverage for creating a better future for Nigeria. The labor of our heroes past should challenge us into building a greater nation. The best part of Nigeria should not be in time past, but should be in time future. It is the belief of this, it is this belief that led us to establish this foundation. Peter is established not only to recount what has been, but to share in molding what should be. And this reminds me of a best-selling book titled Who Moved My Shoes? The title of the book, the size of the book, even the cover of the book, look more like a children's book. When I first saw the book, Your Excellency, I was not going to read it because it looked like an Onisha-produced pirated pamphlet. Although the book reads like a bed-styled storybook for a 4-year-old child, the book is perhaps one of the most referenced books across the continent, particularly in business schools. Who Moved My Shoes? Let me briefly summarize what the philosophy of the book is and how it relates to the hope of this foundation for Nigeria. The little book is the story of 2 mice and 2 little men who discovered a haul of cheese. They settled down to comfortable life of cheese eating and decided to hang their running shoes as a sign that they have reached a point where they can settle to a life of comfort. Then one day they woke up and found there was no cheese any longer. The 2 little men sat down, worried, frustrated, disorientated, because they could no longer find the cheese. But what did the mice do? The mice needed cheese. They left the hole where the cheese had disappeared and started looking for a new source of cheese. The mice eventually found a new source and they settled again to eating cheese. But the men were still seated on the same spot, hoping that the bad dream will soon end, or that by some divine intervention, the cheese will reappear. In fact, one of them thought that an enemy must have blocked the cheese, so he started digging a hole through the wall to see if he could find a cheese. The second one, after some time, said to himself, I can't sit here and hope that the cheese will reappear. He looked for his running shoe and began to run. in pursuit of a new cheese. He eventually found some crumbles of cheese, and he brought it to his colleague and said, I found some cheese. The colleague said, no, I can't eat it. It won't taste like the one I'm used to. Let us pray a little more. Maybe the cheese will come. And when the cheese didn't come, they became irritated, they became frustrated, they became sleepless. But after some time, they both agreed it was time to put on their running shoes and look for a new cheese. And eventually, when they took their destiny in their hands and went searching rather than staying in the same place, Your Excellency, they found a new haul of cheese. At the heart of the frustration was the fear of leaving the familiar for the unknown. And I think that this story has a lesson for us in Nigeria. We have become stuck due to the fact that we still fear to try out new ideas and new ways of doing things. We continue to live in the past. We do not recognize that the old cheese has been exhausted. We have refused to put on our running shoes in search of new cheese, in pursuit of new landmark, out of a burning desire to create new monuments of history for new future generations to applaud. We continue to mourn the laws of the Sardaunas, the laws of the Nnamdi Azikiwes, the laws of the Tafawa Balewa, and indeed the laws of the avatar himself, the Obafemi Awolowo. They were great leaders. But like all mortals, they are gone. I will never come back. We can no longer continue to hang our inefficiencies on their graves. They were men of an age. It is doubtful that if they were alive today, they will not do things differently from the way they did them in the past, given their resourcefulness and high level of creativity. The challenge facing us, can we cast out our fear and as Nigerians put on our own issues? We should stop looking at the closed doors. Can we look around in search of new doors? In our effort to open a new door, this foundation has for this anniversary done a one-day colloquium on 60 years of television in Africa, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We have looked at what television has done. We have seen where television had not fulfilled the vision of the visionary. But we believe more importantly, tomorrow, time, future, must be more important to us than time past. So we looked at what television of tomorrow should be. The proceedings and other papers will be published shortly as a reference book under the same title for practitioners, scholars, and students. We had commissioned the second book that is in the process of being published, titled The History of WNTV, 1959 to 77. The third book is what will be presented today, The Heritage of Excellence. Immediately after this anniversary, Your Excellency, the Foundation believes that it is important to begin to provide for the training of those who will create the better television of tomorrow. We believe it is time to establish a broadcast training center that will compare favorably with the Thompson Foundation Training College of Glasgow or the Radio Netherlands Training Center. You cannot build a future without having trained and skilled professionals. You cannot build a great nation relying on the labor of Lilliputians. The foundation also intends to be the Hall of Fame and Broadcasting Gallery because too many people have passed through television in Nigeria. One of the great interesting things I can say, Your Excellency, is that when television started in Ibadan, it was not a Yoruba affair. Right on that same day, 31st October 1959, there were at least 2 Igbos working in WNTV. There were a large number of people who came from what is now called Edo and Delta. Ibadan Television, either WNTV, was NTV Ibadan, was NTA Ibadan, had never been a local ethnic station. It has been a station that provided for all Nigeria because the hope of the visionary is that that television will usher prosperity into Nigeria. In the last 15 days, Your Excellency, we have had a photo exhibition that had shown quite a large number of people who had contributed to this industry. And the interesting thing, Your Excellency, is that when Eastern Nigerian Television was started and called second to none, the first general manager of that station was the former head of news of WNTV. The head of programs of that station was the former chief librarian of WNTV. But such was the spirit of competition in the competitive federalism that we operated there, that whatever one region did that was good, the other regions copied. That spirit had to be re-energized for the prosperity that Chief Awolowo envisioned to become permanent in this country. Your Excellency, we appreciate some of the contribution and the support that the governments of Ondo, Oyo, and Ekiti had given to us. We appreciate that, sir. We appreciate the great support that the Arole Oodua, Sir Kesintin Adibutu gave to us. We appreciate the support by the Ibadan School of Government and Public Policy, the Development Agency of Western Nigeria, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the Oodua Investment Company Limited, and the great alumni and alumni of this great station. We very much appreciate the support, the warmth, and the love that the Director General of NTA had given us. And through him, we appreciate the support that the Minister of Information and Culture has given us. It would be unfair if I do not mention, Your Excellency, the great warmth, the continuing support, the open-handedness that we found in the management and in the zonal director and the management of NTA Ibadan Network Center. Your Excellency, it is only God that can thank you for coming today. Only God can thank the Vice President. Only God can thank Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Only God can thank these attaché of the Awolowo family tree. For accepting to add your official and intellectual weight to the celebration of this national day. With Your Excellency's presence here today, I am assured that the federal government of Nigeria will support our vision of a greater tomorrow for television industry in Nigeria. Your Excellency, all due protocol duly observed, you are welcome to this recount of history. But more importantly, we welcome you to this molding of the future of the industry. It is time to put on our own shoes again as Nigeria, so that the labors of our hero past will move us to a higher level of achievement. Indeed, a new frontier of accomplishment. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for this.
I think it deserves a big round of applause. That was loaded. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Your Excellency, Deputy Governor of your state, the next item is another speech, this time around, from the Honorable Minister of Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. He's not here physically, but I can assure you he's ably represented. But before that, Mr. Vice President, sir, please allow me to announce the presence, I learned it just came in, of the representative of the Ekiti State Governor. He's been represented by his Commissioner for Information, Tourism and Value Orientation, Are Muyiwa Olumiloa. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President, sir, please allow me to bring onto the microphone now the representative of the Honorable Minister of Information, who is the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Alan Mohammed. So round of applause for him, please.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, like the Master of Ceremony said, I'm here to represent the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Haji Lai Mohammed, who is unavoidably absent at this occasion, and of course to represent my humble self. But for now, I have an address given to me by the Honorable Minister, which I'm going to deliver on his behalf. And it goes like this. I feel very highly honored and privileged to be part of this epoch-making event today. Exactly 60 years ago, history was made in the ancient city of Ibadan, when the revered political leader and an astute politician, the late premier of the then Western region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and some other co-visionaries brought into being the first television station, not only in Nigeria but in the whole of Africa. I salute the courage and foresight of the proponents of this noble idea that has now grown in leaps and bounds. I salute them for their foresight. I salute them for the fact that they had the foresight some 60 years ago to think and bring to bear what we are here gathered this morning to celebrate. 60 years ago, television was born not only in Nigeria, but in the whole of Africa. And history was made right here in the ancient city of Ibadan. Our gratitude still remains with the men of vision who saw to it that today we can celebrate with pride, what they have the foresight to think about. The rapid spread of the television bug, like a wildfire, is a great testimony to the nobility of the vision of these great nationalists and Pan-Africanists. What was sown then as a little mustard seed has grown to produce uncountable fruits in the broadcasting world. A typical example of this is the fact that NTA alone can boast of over 101 television stations spread across Nigeria. Let me hasten to nudge the practitioners of the television industry to do a critical review of the motivation of the founding fathers in establishing the audio-visual platform. When launching the Western Nigeria Television in October 31st, 1959, Chief Obafemi Awolowo had said that he envisioned television as an instrument of mass education and mobilization of the people towards the attainment of rapid growth and development. With the turn of events in Nigeria, and indeed the entire world, those ideas of television broadcasting seem to have been badly eroded, virtually giving way to what is now generally referred to as hate speech and obscenity on television. Practitioners of the broadcasting industry must return to the path of honor and sound professionalism in order to sustain the industry's pride and return it to its position of eminence in the ecosystem of our country called Nigeria. Your Excellency, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, this, I believe, is the only way to ensure that the labor of the visionaries and executors of television in Nigeria does not become a waste. Before I end this remark, let me thank and appreciate the efforts of the Chairman, Foundation for Ibadan Television Anniversary Celebration, FITEC, His Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Emir Farumbi, and all his fellow foundation members for keeping the flag of professional broadcasting flying in our country. I am particularly pleased at your efforts at putting the records straight as far as broadcasting history is concerned, especially with publications such as the one we are about to launch today, and also for rallying all the forces in the industry for the good of broadcasting and for the good of our fatherland. I can assure you that the Minister of Information and Culture, which I head, will support you and cooperate with you all the way. Once again, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Let me congratulate you on this auspicious occasion of the 60th anniversary celebration of Western Nigerian Television, WNTV, first in Africa. I thank you for your attention. Your Excellency, I have just completed my task of representing the Honorable Minister by delivering his own address. I beg your unindulgence, Your Excellency, for me to wear my little cap of the Director General of NTA and say a word or two. Your Excellency, like I said, I've done my job as the representative of the Honorable Minister of Information, and it makes my job as the DG, in fact, very easy and simple. All I need to do is to say I concur with the Honorable Minister's advice. And Your Excellency, I do concur. I agree with everything the Honorable Minister of Information has said. However, I would like to say that 2 days ago I was in Lagos. I was part of the events marking the 50th anniversary of The Village Headmaster, the iconic television series, which in fact had its roots from Ibadan. The Village Headmaster family got together and decided to mark 50 years of its creation. I was there. I took part in every event of that ceremony. I made a pledge there and a challenge. I challenged the members of the Village Headmaster family to work with NTA so that we can recreate, maybe not exactly the Village Headmaster, we can recreate something from the ashes of the Village Headmaster. Nigerians want it, Nigerians need it. And I did tell them then that it is instructive that Village Headmaster is marking 50 years at the time when yours truly is the Director General of NTA. I'll tell you why. As a young boy growing up in Jos in 1970, we didn't have television services on the plateau. Certainly we didn't have one in Jos. But I went to Zaria for an interview into the School of Basic Studies, and I was hosted by the then bursar of the university, Alhaji Hamza Zayad, who was married to a sister to a friend of mine. So I was hosted in his house. And for the first time in my life, I saw a television set. And for the first time in my life, I saw a television program. And that television program was The Village Headmaster. So to me, The Village Headmaster means a lot. And that it marked its 50 years with me as Director General. You might call it coincidence, but I call it the hand of God. So I'm using the same breath that I use in calling for cooperation between the NTA and the Village Headmasters family to call on the members of the foundation of the WNTV to work with us in the Nigerian Television Authority so that together we can move broadcasting to the next level. Your mention of the need for a school like Thompson Foundation in Nigeria, I think is something that excites me because right now we do have a television college. We are working assiduously in NTA to reposition the college so that the college is the only one of its kind in Africa. And I'm sure working with members of the WNTV Foundation, we can do something to reposition the television college. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention.
Another round of applause, please, for Mullah Mohammed, my professional colleague, and the man with two caps entering one head. Your Excellency, sir, the next item is a book review. It's a new book just published, and there's need to review it for you to have a taste of what is in there. I have the honor and privilege to call on the book reviewer. He's a lecturer in this university, Department of Communication and Language Arts, Professor Kichi Christopher. Please come.
Your Excellency, as is the tradition in Nigeria, please allow me to stand on existing protocol. As you all know, I'm a lecturer, not well versed in the tradition of politics. I've been invited to review the book, The Heritage of Excellence. The Heritage of Excellence, reminiscences of men and women behind the bright lights of Africa's first television. That is the full title. It's edited by Ayo Fashero and is dressed in a cover with great background, projecting prominently a color appearing to me as amber. We can see in these colors the now gray hair telling their energetic years in WNTC RBC was rooted and thrived on the energy of men and women that projected their energy into acquiring and utilizing new skills to reach the society with diverse developments. The book consists of voices of 47 individuals employed in the first 2 decades of NTA, that is 1959 to 1979, on the establishing of the television broadcasting in Nigeria and the trajectory of its expansion, even though through the intrusion of the federal government. It is also a ceremony, a celebration of unending friendship among people who worked closely together under favorable and unfavorable conditions to impact society with their programs. Additional beauty of these reminiscences is that they provide an opportunity for the writers to see themselves as they were seen by colleagues, superiors, and boss. Making this a little of an unending get-together for WNTC, WNBC, and NTA pacesetters. Benjamin Lewis, please permit me to say the names without the titles, does a good survey of the book in his foreword. But for a historic panorama of WNTV and NTA, the eager reader can go straight to Prince Deji Akimbiyi's piece. Reading through the accounts, you will discover that employees didn't get their jobs on a platter. As Yemi Faromi confirms, both as an interviewee and an interviewer, Deji Hastrop takes you through the job interview fever. For the atmosphere in broadcast stations during coup d'etat, you may read Foli Ogundemi. Many knew then what was amiss when they heard classical music on radio. The broadcast stations lived the experience. Let me take a break now and talk a little bit about the book as a book. I'm an editor and a publisher, and I teach literacy and language arts. It is quite pathetic that the publishing industry, or what is coming out, what is getting into people's hands, are not quality books. But here is a book written in good English, printed clearly, easy to read, enjoyable. Therefore, this is a book that should be at every home. And you'll see more reason for that. Library and schools. I'll take you now to WNTV and others. After the preamble, we can take a deeper look into these reminiscences. It is well known that without the vision of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nigeria would not have been the first to introduce television in Africa. Nonetheless, Nevertheless, reading through the pieces, the name Chief Awolowo didn't crop up as overlord of the television broadcasting, not even as an interviewee. That's strange in a country like Nigeria. This was a man that saw the role that television could play in educational development of the region and started its establishment in 1957 on the advice of Chief Anthony Enahoro. Seeing this in the book is quite different from what I heard. I thought that Chief Awolowo established WNTV because he was not allowed to put his program on radio, so he established the TV. But it doesn't take 3 years, 3 whole years, or rather 2 years, to go into the process of developing a legacy that remains till today. 3 months after his takeoff in 1959, his tenure as Prime Minister ended. Chief Awolowo's vision for WNTV and the region superseded his ambition to lead. And a crop of professionals, I may call them so now, being largely neophyte at the time, ran with the vision of this one-in-a-generation visionary, which saw to the departure of the foreign partners' redivision. In the earlier days when WNTV was not encumbered by political interference, it carried out its news coverage without worrying about a big brother at its back. This is Prince Adeniyi speaking. However, the taking over of the reins of government brought with it intrusion into professional order by the government of the day, starting quite early after the exit of Chief Awolowo from government, This degenerated further in the late 60s, with Vincent Maduka, the GM then, noting that he was tired of all the political pressures of the time and generally hostile environment. Therefore, let's appeal to politicians to allow cultural entities like broadcasting, like publishing, like newspaper to thrive and carry the people along. 8-year 24 decree of 1977 invaded the environment further and staff development tradition. Jibola Adeniyi observes, the court ruling that each station must stay within its jurisdiction put the final nail. According to Dr. Oyelade, there were so many audacious moments, but our freedom came to a sudden halt sometime in 1980. We were so used to doing it our own way, but the politicians were not so comfortable with us. The federal government clipped our wings and stopped the fairy tale. Unwelcome as these intrusions are, however, we must know that they saw the spread of television beyond Ibadan in Nigeria. For example, when WBACS folded up, joined Obasanjo's purge, and some unfortunately lost their jobs, Yemi Farounbi saw to the distribution of the staff to BCOS, OGBC, OSB, and NTV, after which he was transferred to Akure to extend the work culture and professional skills he had acquired at WNTV. The launching of WNTV barely a year to the independence of Nigeria was timely, and to borrow the word of Dejumo Lewis, divine. Incidentally, many of the workers described their employment at WNTV as such. WNTV was on hand to broadcast the handing over of the ceremony. Early in its development, WNTV promoted a culture of producing and promoting stars. They helped them to blossom. According to Jibola Adeniyi, WNTV, WBC played a pivotal role in the developing and performing arts in Nigeria, from music to all genres of the theater. Sam Adebie discovered some up-and-coming theater groups and helped them to grow. Duro Ladipo, Moses Olaiya, Baba Salah, that's Baba Salah, producing programs that attracted crowd to WNTV. Through dedication, self-development and staff training, WNTV and BS and NTA grew television and radio broadcasting in Nigeria to blossom to what they are today. I see WNTV as a root that produces branches, shoots, and fruits. The fruits are all around us, blossoming and are no longer traceable to their roots. Unique programs, African magic, and different types of artists definitely connect to this root. The heritage of excellence features reminiscences told to the desires and tastes of the storytellers, some dwelling on their time at the station and some events that took place there, while a few others concentrated on one issue. Generally, it is a tale of an enduring legacy carried in the heart of the people that worked at WNTV and BS. An emblematic legacy existing physically are, and I quote, the executive office furniture and office paneling of both the general manager's office and the boardroom, with Giwa BC Rokwe, made in the... I'm sorry, that's how it's written. Made in the 1960s, are still being used till today. An aside, it was these pieces of furniture that saved Vincent Maduka's job sometime when I think David Jemebe took over office. I am forced to ask if things are still made like that. Are people leaving behind them legacies that produce characters and products that endure beyond them? This will not be a reminiscence if I don't show how these individuals saw their jobs and interactions or what they carry in their hearts years after. I'll just make a few quotations. Alton Adedeji says, I still cherish the golden years that I spent at the television house, Agodi Ibadan. I recall with joy my years there. I enjoy my job, says Omobala Onajide. And one camaraderie existed, and that there was never a dull moment. That is Dede Noola. Life in WNTV was quite hectic, but all look back and acknowledge that it was a life-changing, developing, and enhancing experience. Many not only caught their teeth there, but developed into broadcast professionals of repute, or used this place as a launchpad to greater height. BC Road, owned by Giwa BC Rodigbe, is a good example. Certain names kept recurring in the stories. I won't be able to mention all of them, but let me mention people like Tejo Yeleye, Vincent Maduka, Yemi Farumbi, who were GMs acknowledged to have a heart and an eye for development. I'm so glad that I can see Anike Agbaje-Williams today, still radiant in her old age. Taking us forward, the book shows us, among other things, that leadership can be done with humaneness. Humanity and not self is what counts. Professional development and freedom to practice is important for the worker. Give them wing to fly. The book also shows employers and hopefuls that hard work has its reward. Let me add that friendship and family is what remains when naira, dollar, pound, and whatever wealth is no longer relevant. And this is what most men and women in this hall carry with them. I thank you, Dr. Lisa Anda, my colleague, and organizers of this program for allowing me to share in this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I hope you're ready to pick a copy. Yes, you won't regret buying it. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Your Excellency, Deputy Governor of your state, the next item very quickly will now be the presentation of the book. I'm reliably informed that this will be done by His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of your state, Engineer Rauf Adiremi Olanio, FNSC. Mr. Deputy Governor, sir. I believe he will be making this presentation on behalf of the governors of the states. You know that again when we reach you.
Your Excellency, the First President of Nigeria, my dear brother, Professor Yemi Osibajo. I want to go outside the protocol. I will present the book. Here is the book. Here is the book. The yesteryears and yesterdays of WNTV television in Nigeria. Without committing a fallacy of instant generalization, if my prof allow me, I'll say this book is a must for every household. But on behalf of the governor of Oyo State, I will not be able to mention any amount of money because the price of the book itself is difficult to determine. And my dear brother, the First President of Nigeria cannot be on seat while I will be announcing money for Oyo State. You know, in Yoruba culture, Arifin Radio. So I'm sure my governor will get in touch with NTV alumni. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We will also get in touch, sir. This can't be dodged. Mr. Vice President, sir, we have reached where we're going already, but the additional item now is the presentation of awards to deserving recipients. And to do this, I'd like to call on my colleague, who is the chairman of the organizing committee for this particular program. Chief Tolu Ighodalo, please come. She will simply announce the names, and Mr. Vice President, I believe, will help us to present the awards to the recipients.
Your Excellency, sir, Mr. Vice President, thank you for gracing this occasion. Our important dignitaries on the high table, the families of the recipients of these honorable awards, ladies and gentlemen, may I be allowed to stand on existing protocol? Thank you very much. These are our awards, which are in 3 categories. The first category is that of visionaries. Visionaries start with our esteemed Chief Obafemi Awolowo of blessed memory, and I believe to accept the award on his behalf as the matriarch of the family here. I must pass a side comment, which is that, Your Excellency, sir, Mr. Vice President, it is auspicious, not only auspicious, it is strangely designed that it is you yourself, a member of this esteemed family, that will be presenting this award to the progeny of this esteemed family. I'm sure everybody here understands the nuance that I am giving. Being a born-again Christian, I will say this is propitious, it was destined, it is honorable, it is most fantastic, for which we need to thank God. Your Excellency, sir,
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Before I receive the award, I think it's only appropriate for me to introduce members of the noble family, the Awolowo family. First will be Dr. Olatokunbo Awolowo Odusun. She's the Executive Secretary of the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation. Next will be two representatives of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's grandchildren, Mrs. Aderemi and Mrs. Subel, and also the Vice President. Representative of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's grandchildren, note. Now, representative of his great-grandchildren are here. Two of them. These are representatives of the grandchildren and two representatives of the great-grandchildren. And of course, the big blessing is that a representative of his great-great-grandchildren is here this morning. The person of Ademore Kumi Aderemi. We thank God. I'll give the mic to my sister, Dr. Lisun, to say a word or two.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, may I stand on existing protocols? Only on rare occasions are we allowed, as Papa's descendants, to share in the glory of his legacy, and this is one. We are most grateful to the Foundation for Ibadan Television. The gentleman sitting next to me was just asking me, why is there no Awolowo on the political scene? And I said, how long do you have? We can discuss that later. But I congratulate the organizers of this event, and I pray for sustainability for all that you want to do. There is no way that you are going to be sustainable without partnering with government. And I do that with the present company, that is assured. May I dare to look long term. I think the equivalent to NTA is BBC. There must be a reason why BBC has diversified. Television is supposed to inform, educate, and entertain. They have diversified, they have dedicated channels for each of those sectors. They also have dedicated channels for different languages within the United Kingdom and dedicated languages for other countries.
So, for a long-term goal, please devise wider and strategic goals, and may God be your helper. Thank you all very much.
We have a family anthem. Aṣẹ́gun àti àjògùn ní àjẹ́ nípa ẹ̀jẹ̀ Kristi àní ìṣẹ́gun. Olúwa ń bẹ fún wa a kì yóò ṣubú. Kò sóhun tó lè borí agbára rẹ̀. Aṣẹ́gun ni wá. Aṣẹ́gun ni wá. Aṣẹ́gun ni wá. Nípa ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù, ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù, bàbá fún wa ní ìṣẹ́gun ìfẹ́ nípa ẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù.
At this point, Mr. Vice President, sir, Your Excellency, the next set of the next awardee in the visionary category is the representative of Chief Anthony Eromosele Enahoro, who is here ably and fortuitously represented by his eldest living son. I think there's one or two more. There's Victor, isn't there? And so many, Bella and others. Chief Eugene Enahoro, who is also my cousin.
This is Vice President. Can you sit down? How will you be first? Your Excellency, the Vice President, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when I was asked to come here today, when I was invited to come here today, because I don't have the notes with me, so forgive me if I say no to please. I have to really ask myself, is today a day for celebration or a day for sober reflection? I understand it was both. But let me first talk about sober reflection, because I have to stand up here with all due respect and say I'm deeply embarrassed. Why am I deeply embarrassed? Because in 1959, when my father opened WNTV, it was the first in Africa. There was no television in South Africa. But I'm talking to you here today. I know that the majority of us here, myself included, are now watching DSTV and GoTV and all that stuff. Can we please get ourselves back to the leadership position which Nigeria is supposed to have in Africa? That's sober reflection. Well, of course, for celebration, it is a day for celebration for the Enahoro family, because my father's been given a posthumous award. Now, as Mr. Vice President was very aware, the awards industry in Nigeria is now big business. All sorts of meaningless cash and carry awards have been given, Governor of the Year, Banker of the Year, this and that. All awards for excellence. The actual evidence of this excellence is not on ground. So it's no surprise that those awards are very quickly forgotten. A posthumous award, though, means that after your race has been run, your life is over. Nobody has anything to gain from recognizing you, and yet you are still recognized. It is the highest honor you can give somebody. And I thank you very much for honoring my father like that.
Well, I'm not a politician, so Mr. Vice President may not enjoy this, but in terms of how we do honor our people, allow me to finish with a small story. While my father was still alive, the Edo State government decided to honor him by naming the State House of Assembly buildings after him. It was called the Chief Anthony Anambra Complex, the name which he still carries today. But a few months after, he summoned me to his house. And he said I should go there and tell them to remove his name from that building. He didn't beg them. I said, Daddy, what's the problem? He said every day he reads the news. They tore their cloth in the Chief-Enaro complex. Mace was snatched in the Chief-Enaro complex. Tear gas was thrown in the Chief-Enaro complex. He said, go and tell them I don't have any compound where they fight. So they should please remove my name and call it the Muhammad Ali complex. Then everybody who wins the election will now know they're going there to have fights. Even as I stand here today, the Enaro complex is still in the news for all the wrong reasons. But the moral of the story is that when we do want to honor people, whilst it's all commendable that we give out mementos and we name places after them, perhaps it might be just more important that we honor them by standing up for what they stood up for, by believing in what they believed in, and by also teaching our children to do the same. Then we will have the continuity of what we are celebrating today. I thank you for honoring my father. I thank you for listening to me. God bless Nigeria.
And I, on my part, thank you, Chief Eugene, for taking the trouble to be here. He told me when I informed him of this award that he's traveling out tonight. We worked out the logistics, so he has to be here. I said, you need to change your flights or we'll work out the logistics. So thank you. We do deeply appreciate you. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, sir, may I at this stage also call on the third visionary, who was the first board chairman of the board of WNTV, Western Nigerian Television, first in Africa. Ably is Chief T.T. Sholaru of blessed memory. Ably represented here by his firstborn daughter, Mrs. Bisi Shofunde. Thank you. Would you like to say a word?
My father, the late Reverend T.T. Sholaru, was a very, very humble man. I didn't realize just how bigger he was. To us, his children, he was daddy. To the extended family, he was Baba Bishop or Baba Sholaru. Until, I think it was 1973, when they were reading his citation for his honorary doctorate degree at the University of Oxford, when they mentioned first this, first that, first the other, and I was in awe. And I looked at the man who was so simple, never once let us know just how much he achieved. That was his first recognition. But this is even more important because it means that in Nigeria, if you do well and leave a legacy, somebody will remember. And that is why this is important to the family. His wife, Lana Sholaru, I told her she's 78, She's in England. She'd love to have come. She's 98. Yes, and very, very active. But she's in England, and the notice came very late. My other siblings are abroad. The family were scattered all over the world. But I would like to call on my husband, Sheyi Sofunde, and my son, who are here with me. Sheyi and Oluwale, where are you? They're very camera shy, just like my father. Together, on behalf of Reverend Thompson Tanimowo Sholari family, we say thank you to the foundation, and we hope that all you want to achieve to keep these legacies going will come to pass, and that their children will also learn and be able to tell their children how great their grandfather was. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miss.
Another round of applause for the three recipients so far. Here you see I'm coming in between. Mr. Vice President, sir, some people said I did not allow the public or the general audience here to participate in the launch. And I told them I didn't forget to do it. Only I was trying to get people to go to the ATM and come back. And now I believe those who went to the ATM are already here. And this is time, by the permission of Mr. Vice President, to ask you to please donate, towards the funding of these books. Earlier today, 2 people who are not even here physically sent in their checks. My former Director General of the NTA, Reverend Shingo Wigwe, he sent in 100,000. Ambassador Arunke Adefo sent 50,000. So those who have returned from the ATM, we're waiting. Yes, who is going to take the first shot, please? Okay, I think Mama Folake Shulanke is already. Can I give you a microphone? Mama was a former chairman of the board of directors.
My learned friend of the circle, and Vice President of the country, Professor Yomi. I had no notice that I speak, but the lawyer must always be prepared to speak. I want to thank the reviewer of the book, who did an excellent job. I've been chosen because I was chairman of WNTV-WNBS 1972 to 1974. I was the first female state commissioner under Oluwale. So I would urge members of the public to please come forward to purchase copies of the book and to donate whatever they choose so to do. I respectfully and do another presentation on this beautiful book, I will buy 2 books and I will send my check to the foundation.
A round of applause for Mumi. Thank you very much, ma'am. Next is the Director General of the NTA, Madam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad. You can just sit there.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, all other protocols duly observed. The Nigerian Television Authority is going to buy 50 copies of the book. But like the Deputy Governor for this state said, he wasn't going to mention any amount because of the presence of His Excellency the Vice President. I will also not dare mention any amount, but I'll get in touch. 50 copies.
And very quickly, as we thank the NTADG, let me introduce Chief Nahoro. He wants to say something.
No, I don't want to say something. The truth is, if they weren't doing this launching, maybe would have told the Vice President that things are difficult. Now, when the man stands up and says he wants to buy 1 copy of the book for 100,000, it's going to be difficult for me now to turn around and say, okay, there's hunger here. So, thank you very much for ruining my prospects of begging the Vice President for money. I will buy the book for 100,000 and go home and start crying.
Oh my God. That's a comic relief. Mr. Vice President, sir, I'm trying to rush over so you don't miss your flight, sir. If there's anything like that. The representatives of the governors of Edo, Ekiti states, I believe they're here, Delta. Can we have you, please? Otherwise, I want to close this and I'm hoping you send to us your checks. Okay, here comes Are Muiwa Olumilwa is representing the Ekiti State government here. You're welcome.
Your Excellency, Vice President, I'll stand on all the protocols already established. The Deputy Governor of Oyo State said that it would be a riffing for him to mention a figure while the Vice President is seated. Now, if you look at His Excellency the Deputy Governor and myself, you know that I'm much younger. So it will be for me to mention any figure. But I'm sure Ambassador Farouk knows that Governor Fayemi is a big fan. His father used to be a staff of WNTV, so this project is very important to him. So I can assure you that he's going to make a very handsome contribution. Thank you very much.
I also hear that Mr. Deji Oshibogu would like to make a donation too. Please come. Please come. Oh, it's from the back there.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President, distinguished, my DG, salute. I was one of the first children on TV at WNTV. I later on got an appointment at NTA Ibadan. For whom much is given, I think much is expected. never really had a chance to go back and give back. But today, because of the people that have plowed the field, we are here to cultivate. A seed, a fruit of mine, as mentioned by my very good friend, Eugene, will be given by my firm. Coincidentally, as a kid, I was a broadcaster. I started work as a broadcaster, and today I have a fledgling broadcast industry. So I have the 3 categories all corrected. I think I was well trained by Yemi Farumi. Thank you very much. 100,000 for the occasion. Thank you.
Very much, Mr. Yoshiboku. Okay, please come. You announce your name.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Yeris Sholanke Koya. I'm the first daughter of Chief, I can't mention my mother's name because it's a taboo in Yoruba tradition to do so, but Sholanke San. And I'm very pleased to be here today because I also was raised in part by the Awolowo family, and I thank you for that honor as well. So indeed, it is a pleasure to be here because, as the Director General said, maybe Village Headmaster will be back on the television. And Your Excellency, it's wonderful to see you, Professor Yemi Osinbajo-San. In light of this, I would like to make a humble donation. There are many traditions here that have been mentioned. Can't see any figure in front of His Excellency, and definitely I am old, so I think I'm older than a few people here, but I most certainly will buy one of the books and I'll communicate the sum of money to my elder sister, Chief Tolu Choluga. So I congratulate the committee for this wonderful occasion, and I do certainly hope that television, as Chief Obafemi Awolowo said, will instruct, will educate, and will inform. Unfortunately, nowadays, communication has really been negatively impacted by what we observe on television. And our children are learning the wrong things on television. Whereas WNTV taught us the proper words to use. So I do hope that that will be restored to the benefit and enduring legacy of the country. Thank you very much.
Mr. Vice President, sir, because of time, we just have to end it there, hoping that you get in touch with us, please. May I then invite my colleague back for the presentation of the remaining awards.
Thank you, Sheldon. We have to move briskly. The next category, Your Excellency, sir, is the pioneers. These are Chief Olufalomo, Mrs. Anike Agbaje-Williams, and Prince Jide Akinbiyi. May we start with Chief Olufalomo. I beg your pardon, I should correct myself. Oba Olufalomo. My apologies. Could we have his representative here? Can I have Chief Adeshola collected on his behalf? He's right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. will be Mrs. Anike Agbaje Williams. Thank you very much, ma'am. Next will be the representative of Prince Jide Akibi. Thank you very much, sir. The final category in this category for these awards, Your Excellency, sir, is that of the distinguished alumni, those who were the first to work in Western Nigeria Television, WNTV, first in Africa, on the 31st of October, 1959. I will start with Are Ogunlade, Ayo Ogunlade. His representative is here, I believe. We'll move on. Oh, fantastic. Chief Sonia Oyeson will be receiving on behalf of Are Ayo Ogunlade. Will be Engineer Vincent Maduka. His representative is here, I believe. Mrs. Ronke Kusoya. Is she with us here? Can I ask, is she here? Can I ask you, sir, DGNTA to receive on his behalf? Thank you, sir. Next will be Chief Tunde Oshobi. Who will be represented here by Giwa BC Rodipe. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, as they say, Mr. Bruce Obiagele. Mr. Bruce Obiagele. Thank you very much. At this point, we have ended the section on awards and awardees. I'll call on my colleague, Shedwaderi Ambassador, to continue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President, sir, can we stop the music? Please. May I announce that copies of this book are available for sale just on the foyer out there. Make sure you pick a copy before you go at 2,500 naira only. Yes, we are gradually coming to the end of this program, but it definitely will not end without hearing from our Baba, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's my honor and privilege right now to call onto the microphone Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, SAN GCON.
Thank you very much. Please sit. Before I make my remarks, let me just say that all of those who have used my presence as a cover for not making general donations should realize that I will be waiting for them out there to collect those donations. I'm assisted by policemen and security. That's what they're going to say. The Deputy Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Adiremi Rauf Olani, the representative of the Governor of Ekiti State, who is the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Muyiwa Olumilua, the representative of the Governor of Osun State, who is the Secretary to the Government of the State, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, the Honourable Minister for Information and Culture, represented today by the DG NTA, Alhaji Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, the Chairman and Founder of the Foundation for Ibadan Television, Ambassador Dr. Yemi Farumbi, the representatives of the Awolowo family, Reverend Mrs. Tola Oyediran, and Ambassador Dr. Olatokunbo Awolowo Odosunmu, the representative of the Enahoro family, of Chief Anthony Enahoro, Chief Eugene Enahoro. Eugene Enahoro, by the way, is a classmate of mine. When at school, so anything he said about donating 100,000, we've already cancelled that. So we're really looking at something. So we're looking at something much better. Mrs. B.C. Shofunle, the representative of the Shola family. And my learned friend of the Silk, Chief Mrs. Folake Sholanke, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and former Chair of the of WNTV, Chief B.C. Rodigwe, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a special honor to be here today to celebrate the pioneers of television in Africa. Exactly 60 years ago today, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Premier of the Western region, then flanked by the Governor General, Sir John Rankin, Chief Anthony Enahoro, who was the region's Minister of Information, and Chief Titi Shola, first board chair of the Western Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, formally entered the history books by commissioning the WNTV, first in Africa. And this was ahead of China. China only got television in 1962. Ahead of Canada. Canada got television in 1967. Ahead of New Zealand in 1960. And several European countries, including the Netherlands, who only got television in 1960. Ireland in 1961. Greece in 1966, and Malta in 1962. So it was not just first in Africa, it was first in many parts of Asia. And of course, as you can imagine, even in Europe, we do not even talk at all about Eastern Europe. The event was historic for three reasons. Firstly, it demonstrated the capacity of the Nigerian mind to conceive of and achieve anything, no matter how complex or difficult. Secondly, it demonstrates how visionary leadership can inspire and lead people from the lowest levels to the highest points of human imagination. Thirdly, it exemplifies the use of public resources for the public good. The WNTV was built to inform and to educate and to entertain. And as Papa himself said on that day 60 years ago, television is a powerful influence for good. It would ordinarily have been unimaginable that somehow, in a part of the then yet to be independent Nigeria, a man and his team would build a television station in 3 months. The first, as we have seen in many parts of the world. But for the man it was, Papa Obafemi Awolowo, it wasn't so surprising, because he had laid out a plan for the rapid development of the Western region, which included physical infrastructure and human capacity development. The plan included free and compulsory education. As of the date of the inauguration of WNTV, almost 1 million children were in school in the Western region. 41% of the Western region's budget was spent on education. The highest proportion at that time anywhere in the world. In the free world in particular, it was obvious that those who understood the value of education used it as a powerful propellant for the advancement of their peoples, and Papa clearly understood that so long ago. So today, as we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the WNTV, we also celebrate what is possible in our nation and in our states. We celebrate also what vision, hard work, and a commitment to the public good can do. But as Ambassador Farounbi has said, the celebration of the phenomenal achievement in 1959 would be wasted unless we recognize that the achievement represents sturdy shoulders for us to stand on, and that today we can do more. And that the vision of Awo was to build a people capable of excelling beyond even his own achievements. Every generation has a historic responsibility to reach for the highest peaks that human capacity can achieve. Today, we are at the most advanced moment in science, in technology, and innovation in human history. The mobile phone, the smartphones that you have in your hands, have more computing power than all of the computing power that the Apollo spaceship that took men to the moon had in 1969. Today, every smartphone has more computing power than all that the Apollo spaceship had in 1969. So all things are possible, and we are able. Let us be inspired by Papa's words that our only limit is our imagination. Congratulations to the Foundation for Ibadan Television, and to all of us, friends, families, and admirers of the pioneers. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Shall we rise and give a bigger ovation? Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this program virtually. But before we close, please allow me to call Reverend Abiodun Aladikomo, a strong member of this foundation and my boss at the WNTV in those years. He will come now to give us a vote of thanks. Reverend Aladikomo, please.
We give all the glory, honor, and adoration to whom it belongs. The one who has the excellent spirit and endows man with that excellent spirit. Our revered Papa Awolowo and the wonderful team he assembled when he was Premier of Western Nigeria, were humble enough and wise enough to be recipients of this wonderful, excellent spirit. That excellent spirit birthed what people regard as the best, the first of its kind that ever came out of Africa. WNTV, WNBS, exactly 60 years ago today, in this ancient city of Ibadan, was launched. It's a product of the wisdom of great people who believe in the greatness of the black man, irrespective of whatever people are saying outside of this continent. And so I want you to join me first and foremost to thank the Almighty God who has made this possible. He's the one who gave the idea to our forebears, and they use it beautifully. That's why we are celebrating today. So to God be all the glory, all the honor, all the adoration, and we thank Him. Your Excellency, Pastor, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we are very grateful to you. You had just a few days' notice, and you made it an Omoluabi by excellence. I say quietly behind you that, and I'm proud to say publicly today, that you are the Joseph of our time. Those who know what I'm saying, we know what I'm saying, and we acknowledge it. Thank you very much for coming out of your very, very tight schedule to give honor to whom honor is due. And the Almighty God will honor you. I can tell you, sir, this is the beginning, it's not the end of good things that will happen to Nigeria. The greatness of Nigeria cannot be contested. I also want to appreciate the governors, the governor of your state, ably represented by somebody I can now say is part of the NTA family, but we started at WNTV. Engineer Raouf Olaniyan, Deputy Governor for your state, representing the governor. Seyi Makinde, they have been so good to us. We have worked hard in the last 1 year, and we have received your support all along. Thank you very much. I also want to appreciate the governor of Osun State, who is represented here by one of our own, the Secretary to the Governor of Osun State, Wole Oyebamiji. Thank you for representing your governor ably. I also want to appreciate my brother Muyiwa Olumilua from Ekiti State, who is representing the governor of Ekiti State. Right from the word go, they have been supporting us. They knew exactly what we wanted to do, all these governors. We didn't have to whine to get their support. And today we are grateful that the governor is represented. And there are so many people that we should thank. I want to appreciate the Information Minister, ably represented by one of our own, Ibn Yakubu Mohammed, the present DG of NTA. You are carrying the flag. We are proud of you. We started together in television. He in the north, we here. Mama Sholanke, I want to thank you very much. Mama, at our old age, we started this project together early in the year, and it led us out to move from one point to the other, to mobilize support for this project. And here we are today. We bless God for your life, and God will continue to strengthen you. The Awolowo dynasty, today is your day. My sister, my spiritual sister, Reverend Oyediro, thank you very much for mobilizing young people, particularly the ambassador, Your Excellency, man. We went to Kenya, we were well received by you, you encouraged us, and that really helped us to get to where we are today. We cannot but continue to thank you. I don't want to leave anybody out. Eugene, thank you very much, sir, for representing Papa. Papa went to England and he came back. He sold the idea to Chief Awolowo. Chief Awolowo, being a very wise man, who is always listening to wonderful ideas, embraced it immediately. And he set up the necessary committee to ensure that television in Africa came out of this city of Ibadan in Nigeria. So God bless you for coming, and you go back home safely. I thank everybody here present, particularly the members of the Alumni Association, headed by our brother, our boss, Dr. Yemi Faromi. He read geography. Being a very cerebral person, is a man of many parts. Over the years, he has developed himself to become what he is today. But what we know him best for is that he's a leader of men. Night and day. This man, throughout this preparation, there were no single time I called him in the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., that his phone was switched off. He was always ready. And we thank you for your leadership. All our members who have worked so well, I won't name names now. All the Alumni Association members, you have been wonderful. It is just the beginning. It is just the beginning. From here, we are moving on to carry the flag, fly the television, the broadcasting institute we are setting up, some of the things we are going to do after today, because what we want to do really is to sensitize all of us that where we started 60 years ago and how far we have come now is just a beginning. From now on, we want to show to the whole world that our leaders who are there, who worked for excellence in everything they did, that their memory will be perpetuated in excellent performance in whatever we do. So we are going to do more and more. I want to say that all the governors of the southwestern state, including what we used to know as the western region of Nigeria, which included Edo State, which included Delta, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, have been very, very supportive. We visited them, they encouraged us, they have supported us morally, and some of them financially. We appreciate all of you. And I want to thank everybody here present today, and I want to congratulate everybody for being part of history that we are making again today. And I'm sure in a couple of years' time, people will gather together, maybe some of us will be there, some of us will have gone, to celebrate, to re-celebrate what we are celebrating today. May celebration not cease in our homes. Thank you very much for coming. Safe journeys back home. We thank everybody that has been part of this, about the School of Government and public policy. They have been very supportive. All the media houses, we appreciate you. Starting with NTA, the private stations, we appreciate all of you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Very much. Thank you, sir. Very quickly, Mr. Vice President, I'm instructed to announce the account number of FRITAC, where you can drop whatever it is. Access Bank PLC number 081 84 88692. 081 84 88692. Access Bank. Shall we rise for the national anthem, please? Thank you and goodbye. This is Shegun Adiriye reporting for FITEC. Don't forget we have the dinner later in the day, 4 p.m.